I aspire to have that look one day.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I love it. Give off that vibe sometimes.
Yeah.
Where you from? Riverdale. Cool.
I mean, they can't act like that. Don't act like that. There's nothing wrong with Riverdale.
2005's Riverdale was something.
Oh, they trying to change it.
Now,
Yeah.
Now they're trying to change it, but Riverdale's always been a very special place. So.
What does your shirt say? Too stupid to cheat, too lazy to lie. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about non-monogamy, because it's easier for me, especially since I already have someone. So while I'm out at bars and I'm talking to someone and I have this shirt, they'll be like, "Oh, so you in a relationship?" Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It just makes the conversation easier.
How often do people come up to you with the shirt?
Ooh, every time I wear the shirt, probably like twice.
Twice a day?
Yeah, especially if I wear a bright colored one.
Yeah, I can see
Absolutely.
that. That's interesting.
They be curious. They be having questions.
Too stupid to cheat.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because I get caught. Plus, my woman is a lot smarter than me. So trying to lie to her makes no sense. Because I'm going to get caught. Like if I be like, I'm going out to eat hot dogs, and like 20 years later, I'd be like, I hate hot dogs. She'd be like, so what happened on August 13th, 2024? When you said you was going out to get hot dogs, what was that? I'm like, oh, see? I'm not going to remember that.
Yeah.
She will remember that. She will remember that. So there's no reason to lie.
I feel like more men need to have their mindset, because a lot of them are too stupid to cheat. And now they're too lazy to lie.
Yeah.
Now that's different though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, they too lazy to
Tell the truth.
to tell the truth or to continue dating their partner or be honest.
It's too much work to lie.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's exhausting.
I gotta memorize it. I gotta remember that lie. Then I gotta compound
And
that
then keep
lie.
going.
Right? You gotta keep going.
Now you an actor.
You need support.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. My ADHD won't let me remember it. Y'all remember that movie Up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all remember that dog? It was like squirrel. That's me. So if I lie to somebody,
I'm on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna forget just like that.
Yeah.
What did you say you did yesterday? I said I did something yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, that is me. I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast sometimes. I'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that. Yeah, I think that's why I'd rather be honest in my relationship too. Yeah. So I got a question though.
Okay.
Cardi B and Offset just broke up, right? Okay. The same day she announced her pregnancy. Do you feel like maybe, especially in the entertainment world, could the poly lifestyle be a thing? Would it help save relationships and families?
Overall, I mean, no, not in my honest opinion, no, because it's just like, it's gonna make the situation worse. You know, y'all trying to, get that, and it just don't work like that, you know.
Even with
They
all the
make it
women
worse.
coming at you?
Women, it's up to you how you control that. It's up to you. You don't gotta fold, you know what I'm saying? But then, it's what comes to you and it's how you conduct yourself. So
Yeah.
There's a lot of people chasing relationships and they really don't want it. And so cheating is just easy because they really want that life.
Yeah.
And so you would think, oh, we'll just make the relationship open because it makes things easier. But if you still don't know what you want, then no matter if the relationship is open or not, it's still going to fail.
What do you think? Because you're another lady. The guys.
different.
Everybody's right.
You think so?
Everybody's right. It's whatever situation it is. It's what you agree to in any situation or relationship.
That's
if
true.
you have an agreement, I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, then you're good.
Right.
But if it's not, because I'm like, if you want to do this, go ahead, do it. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go my way.
I think a lot of women just kind of go with the flow, though.
Nah.
Because of the,
Never
maybe
me.
just the status of the guy or the lifestyle, maybe, or the love.
Absolutely not.
It's not enough to stay.
No,
I will say
That don't mean
that don't mean nothing.
That don't mean
Nada.
nothing.
out of the clients,
Somebody else will come and be better. Yeah.
That's true.
Replaced.
Most of the clients I run into, they are in the lifestyle because they want to make their partner happy.
Yes. You're right.
And that's like maybe 70% of the people I run into. But you can tell based on their relationship boundaries. Because it's usually one-sided. The man can go out, have his fun, do whatever he wants, but the woman can't, but she wants to. And it's usually a sign that she's only in it for him.
Like he doesn't allow her to?
Well, most men aren't comfortable with that mindset of letting a woman be with another man. And so if
you can do it, I can do it.
You have to understand something. Like, to tell your woman that you're the only man that you can have sex with means that you are 100% responsible for all her sexual joy. So if your woman starts watching pornos about pissing on people, and then out of nowhere, she just wakes up and be like, I've been thinking about it. I've been playing with myself thinking about it. I want to piss on you. If you tell her no, you've automatically shut down her sexual life experience for the rest of her life.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so because of that, it can't be selfish. Because what you may like sexually, so for instance, me and my partner, we're both doms. She's a switch, I'm not. But she don't like to switch. She's a fucking brat the moment we have to switch. Like, if she try to switch, she gonna fight me tooth and nail before she submit. Yeah. But if I wanted a submissive woman, it wouldn't be my wife. And if she wanted a submissive man to play with, it wouldn't be me. And I'm not gonna say yes just for her enjoyment if it's not something I'm not comfortable with.
That's right. Absolutely.
I like the honesty in it though, and the transparency. I feel like people they're not transparent, and they do. It just creates I feel like it creates a gap in a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat ass, so she got to find somebody else for that.
Oh my gosh, you don't eat
It won't
ass.
be me. I'm sorry, I'm not sexually grown up enough to eat ass, and I can admit that.
Not even licking.
No, not even close to it. I'm sorry. Like, if you ride in my face and you get too close, I might want to punch you. Why is your ass coming to my
He
face?
say no.
I thought men like
He say
that.
no ass.
Slow the fuck down.
I thought men like that.
No.
You said no too.
Get shit out, man.
Yeah, see, you gotta stop at a certain
But in the
point.
music
wait,
videos, y'all
look.
be praising the ass. But I can honestly say, for you, my mic, and all your videos, I have not seen that activity.
No.
Yeah, no.
I
haven't.
stand different when it come down to that. You don't see no ass shaking in my video. I don't got no that. Not saying nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But my lane and where I'm going as being an artist, that's just something that I'm not trying to put out there. I'm putting me out there. My story. But I don't got no ass shaking in my videos.
No, you don't.
I had ass shaking in my videos. I just never was an ass person. I just did it because they said do it.
I need to see these videos.
Nope. No.
What videos?
I had videos when I was younger.
Music videos?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a lot of videos.
It was hard, but you make it happen, especially if you went to like community college and got like communications classes, and they let you borrow the cameras.
Yeah.
Great times.
You were recording music videos with the college cameras. Okay, now that's different.
He was doing
I
it.
hope you wipe. I hope
had that going.
I hope you wipe the camera down. All
yeah,
the booty residue flying everywhere.
Just flying everywhere. It was fine.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I guess for the most part, I feel like everybody we're monogamous. But me, I'm gonna be honest. Like I feel like you said what?
I said y'all monogamous.
Yeah. We're us three. But I feel like I respect the poly world though, because I feel like in the monogamous world, it gets to a point where it's a chip on their shoulders. And then when I attended like one of your parties, it was like the couples are friendly. Everybody was just so nice. Like it wasn't all about sex. And I think that's what a lot of people think is when they hear poly, they think about sex. And it like, you just opened up my mind to a whole different perspective where I was like, no, they are actually happy. A lot of these people are actually happy and they're being honest with their partner. So that was cool. And some people, they just go. Some people just like to, what do you call the people that just
Voyeurs?
Voyeurs. They
Yes.
just like to look and they probably go home. So I feel like
they fuck the shit out of their partner. Yes.
I would be
Yes,
a
they do.
voyeur.
There
I would be that, yeah.
There are people who come to my parties just to watch, and then they be like, "Thank you for everything I seen. I'm going to fuck the shit out of my partner tonight." And I'm like,
I like
"Go
that.
ahead, have fun." Absolutely.
Yeah. I like that.
About that.
So
I was just being honest, you know.
No. So would you like not even watching porn with your partner?
Yeah, I would. But as far as like, you know, somebody being, you know,
Right there?
being right there. I mean, that's
much better.
I have nothing to, you know, but that's just still a personal time.
it's much better than porn. I'm just telling you, it's much better than porn. Watching somebody have sex in front of you is better than porn. Porn turns fake after you watch people in front of you.
Yeah, you get disgusted.
Now
Like-
I do understand that. Like it'll get you like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna turn this shit off. You feel me? Like I don't even want to look at it, you know.
I be watching porn now. As soon as they go to the star swipe, I be like, this is shit.
You
Trash. Or they do the terrible acting of the, I have a package for you. And you're like, this doesn't happen in real life. What are we doing
man.
here today?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it does. Well, I guess some people like to animate it, but yeah.
No.
Oh, you said animated? Oh no.
There's certain people don't. I feel like if you like watching porn, you are a voyeur. You just afraid to see it in person, and that screen helps protect you from feeling safe of not really invading in their space. But if you are a real, true porn watcher, you will watch someone have sex in person.
Right.
Absolutely, you will.
No.
Because you like watching it.
Not even if it was all women. Just walk past the
I
room.
mean, look, it's women is women, you know, but
So it's just watching dick walking around that's the problem.
I just ain't trying to. I'm gonna leave it that way it's at. You know,
Yeah.
it's a certain. You feel me? You let that be. You ain't even gotta worry about trying to figure out none of that. All right, I'll just leave that just like that.
I don't know. I will say my sex got better from going to swinger parties because one, being able to watch people have sex in ways that I wouldn't even imagine myself doing sex. My sugar mama took me to my first swinger party.
You're who? You see your sugar mama.
My sugar mama took me to our first swinger party. Actually, someone tricked me to a sex party, and then it was my sugar mama took me to a swinger party. But when my sugar mama took me, she was like, "You want to have a threesome?" I was like, "Hell yeah." She was like, "Well, who you want?" And I was pointing. I was like, "Any of those black women will do," because there was a lot of white women. I was like, "I ain't doing that." I was like, "If we could find someone in our own natural colors." And so I'm talking shit. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna have fun. This, blah, blah, blah." We go upstairs. Let's get to like 2 minutes in. I made this sound like, "Fuck!" And everybody knew what that sound meant because all you hear is one of the women and she like, "It's okay, honey. It's all right.
Oh my
It
God.
happens to all of us.
Oh my
It's
God.
okay, baby." And so now I'm just sitting there with the shit face like, all right.
It's a situation. Huh?
Yeah, and it was like, just go get some food, go get some water, you'll be fine. And it was supportive. That was what confused me, because in a normal monogamous situation around people who are open-minded, they would have dogged my ass that moment.
I agree.
It was like, yo, weak ass, blah, blah, little dick
I'm
ass,
finna go.
blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
finna go.
Yeah,
You wasting
all of
my
that.
time.
This
Yeah.
was different. And so I go get my food. I'm walking upstairs and I'm hearing my sugar mama moaning. And I'm like, oh, okay, her and the girl must be, you know, it must be in it. But like the way she's moaning, I'm like, nah, that don't sound like a woman doing that. And I go upstairs and it's this guy, toy in one hand, dick in the other, and he is fucking them both. And I'm just sitting there like, oh.
My mouth just dropped.
I sat down and watched because I was
Boy,
curious.
that's some shit.
I was
Yeah.
I was serious. Because at that point I was like, I fucked up, right? So I can't freak out. I can't act my age at that time because I was young. They would have kicked my ass out, right?
Right.
So I had to be an adult at that moment, and so I sucked it up. Was my pride hurt? Hell yes,
sure.
my pride was hurt. And that man didn't finish for at least a good 30, 35 minutes because I was sitting there the whole
So
time.
you heard the shit.
I was like, I heard it first, then walked
and
up
then
to
watching
it.
it.
Absolutely, because I was curious. But that's when I learned I was a voyeur. And that's also when I started going back and started watching other people. I was like, I get it now. Because in my next threesome, it was 15 minutes. I was so happy. I was like, yay! I did 15 minutes.
You are funny. You're hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man, hey, it's a little, hey.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You made me sit up in my seat on that one. That's a lot, honey. That's a lot.
Oh, parties.
I just like visualize the whole thing, which make you like, oh my god, really?
Oh,
Well, you sitting there watching it is different. You built different. You sitting there looking at that shit. Yeah.
Well, before everything happened, I was told, don't act your age. That's what my sugar mama kept telling me before we walked in. Do not act your age. You are around grown folks.
Right.
And so the whole time I wanted to freak out. In my mind, I was like, oh, so this is what grown folks is like. Whoo, this is hard.
All grown? No, not all
You know what I
grown
mean?
folk.
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, well, I can't freak out. Plus, she was my sugar mama. She was still giving me money. I wasn't about to mess this up.
Fuck this.
You know? Like,
That's honest. I like that. That's honest. Oh my gosh. Whew. I ain't gonna lie, Tori. We could close the show with that one. Damn.
oh, I have a lot of interesting swinger stories of myself, not of other people, because I don't tell people stories.
Well, I guess we can all agree. I think the whole poly and monogamous relationship is like to each his own type of thing. But in my honest opinion, a lot of people are in poly relationships and they don't even know it. But that's a whole different
No, you mean like when you get cheated on and then you stay in a relationship?
Or just having
at
like,
that point it's open.
like even if you're in a relationship, not even cheating, but this person has like 4 or 5 different baby mothers, and you're like one of them. It's, in my mind, it's kind of like y'all village at that point, you know.
The problem, I think, the biggest problem, no matter if it's a monogamous relationship or poly relationship, is that you have to know what you want in order to find the relationship you need.
Yeah.
We were taught that you should find somebody that you're attracted to, and as long as you're attracted to them and you vibe with them, and if you fall in love, that should be the person you marry. Problem is, that's stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. For me to marry you just because I love you is insane. Because if I introduce you to every human on this planet, you're gonna fall in love with 1 million people. So should you then marry every person you love just because you love them? Which is why I say love is what usually stops people's happiness in relationships.
No, that's the
Because
topic.
you hear people saying, oh, I just stayed in it because I love that person.
Yeah.
Oh, I decided just to do it because I love you. The fuck love got to do with that?
No, I gotta get deeper than that.
It has to. It has to be a reason. Why are we together?
Right.
And so what I tell people to do is you have to answer a very fundamental question. Once you can answer the fundamental question, you can find your partner, which is, what does life look like for you 20 years from now? But your answer cannot have anything to do with children, spouse, career, or family. Those 4 things cannot be in your answer. And that answer has to be detailed. From how many languages are you speaking? How often are you traveling? Where are you going? Because in that answer, you will find out if you're polyamorous or not. Because in that answer, when you determine the type of life that you actually want to live for you, then you may determine a monogamous relationship will allow me to live that. But then you also can determine what are you looking for from your partner. It's not just, am I attracted to you? Because looks only last about an hour.
Yeah. See, that's that life coach coming out though.
I apologize.
See,
But that is he talking though
you're emotionally intelligent. And I think a lot of people are not emotionally intelligent enough, let alone for a monogamous relationship. They doggone sure can't do no poly. I'm just being real. So I think that's the difference. You have to have a certain maturity about yourself to do a lot of things.
Most people are swingers, they're not poly. They try to be poly, but they're really just swingers. And it depends on what your rules
What's the
are.
difference?
All right, so if you feel like you don't want to be in love with more than one person, you only want to be in love with your partner, then you're going to be a swinger because you're not going to establish outside relationships with other people. It's just like if you say, okay, well, you can fuck this person, but you can only fuck them 10 times. The fuck am I fucking you at all for then? That's the point. Because the reason why you create that rule is to avoid falling in love with the person. But love is natural. If you're running from love, be a swinger. You don't have to be in a poly relationship. And a lot of people can't fathom that. They're like, ooh, let's add a third. Let's do this third so we can have these threesomes. And most people don't even use toys during threesomes. So I'll be so confused in what we rush into.
Now that's interesting. We gonna have to, that's gonna be a topic on. Okay, let's bring it back, y'all. Ooh, child, hold on. All right. Okay. So, do you feel like that whole transparency, that whole conversation, is missing in the music world? Well, I'm gonna just say entertainment world in general, in the communities. Do you feel like that is what's missing in the communities?
I'm gonna let him go with that one first since he's in entertainment, and then I'll go second.
I feel like it's like what's missing. You said it's missing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more so like, people putting what they need to put out there, and everybody don't got the same message. So, I mean, majority of the people that's, putting stuff out there right now, I mean, it's a trend. People following one track thing instead of making their own way.
Yeah, I agree. It's the trends. Do you feel like that's more so like the younger people or the older people, or is it just everybody because of social media?
All play a part, because it's like the youngs watching the olders. They seeing certain things. I feel like that's decent to do. They not too many people really showing like certain lanes. Like, okay, you should, you feel me, do this or do that. It's just it's what they seeing. What's
Right.
being presented to them. So, I mean, I don't know. It's different nowadays because it's not the same. Ain't really no structure, nothing like that. So a lot of people just
in the community or the music or both.
Both.
Yeah.
It's at that time now. Like, but somebody gotta put that foot down and be like, all right, we gonna try to lead this in a better way because it's too out of order now.
I feel like you could do that.
I feel like I can do a lot of things, but it's just, me taking that step to do it. And it's a lot of people that do pay attention to me. And, I lead by example, not trying to boss you, none of that. But I do got a mindset and a vision. And, like, a lot of young guys don't have a vision. You feel me? And I just feel like, having a vision, it just leads you down your future. Like, if I got something that's on my mind and I want to put it into action, I may need that little push, but if they trying to figure it out, try to help them. You feel me? It'll make stuff going on around them and in the community a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. But a lot of music artists don't. Do you feel like they help each other? Do you feel like people? I'm gonna be honest. I know a lot of people. There are some people in the communities that help, but I feel like in the music, in the entertainment, do you feel like there's a lot of help?
Not much, but you do have genuine people, that's are willing to help, but it's not much. I feel like it should be a little bit more open lane with upcoming artists and people that do need help, so.
Help from other artists or just in general?
In general. You never know what people may need help with, just to get they stuff started, get they stuff started. But.
Can I be honest, y'all?
Okay.
I feel like R. Kelly is missing.
You just
I
went
do.
nuclear.
But
I feel like Michael Jackson, R. Kelly. I'm gonna just stick with them too. I just feel like they had such a gravitational pull with people. Like you just seen them working with everybody all the time. Like there wasn't a time R. Kelly did a remix and he ain't had like 10 other people on the remix. And I feel like people don't really, they're not doing that, you know. And
No, it's
now
a
we
self
just stuck
thing
on
now.
why he gone, but he definitely helped keep that community tight.
could be better. Sure.
I always looked at the music industry like the drug industry.
Why you say that?
Because when people create their own music, they in their own lane, and therefore they become selfish in their own ego because of what they create. And therefore
You think it's selfish?
Well, think about it. If in your music you say, I'm the shit, I'm only doing this on my own, I work on my own,
And
right?
it's not on your own.
Right. But because you created that narrative so much, people put themselves in that box and therefore they don't lean towards other people for help because they keep creating this narrative of doing things on their own. And it's just like drugs. If you selling drugs, you ain't about to go up to nobody else and be like, let's work together and let's see if we can make some money together unless you're smart enough to do it, right? We don't have a way for people to learn that music is only 99% business and 1% music. And so people don't understand that the business aspect of it is working with other people and getting other people.
Business and most important.
That part don't get promoted. It's just the music. Let's push. Let's record 16 songs in an album. Let's just go out there and perform and let's see how we can do it. Instead of teaching people, no, you actually got to network. Like you gotta build connections. You gotta find people. You can't go out there acting like an ass all the time. You gotta actually be presentable and workable with other people. That part is missed.
That's true.
That business concept of the music is tough. It's not easy.
What's tough about it?
The streams, the connecting this with that, you gotta get out here, show your face, meeting with people, meetings, everything is important. Like the music is easy. You can go to the studio anywhere, record, whatever. But after that, the time, the distance, you getting ready, the money behind it, like you want to make that back, of course, like, but
you live in a time when talent doesn't sell itself.
Don't sell itself at all.
Talent.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
We in a great time with it.
It's that time, though.
It feels good to hear that from an artist because as a former manager, a lot of artists they're like shows, videos, and you sit back and you be looking like, okay, so I see you got a new video, I see you bought a bunch of bottles, I see the jewelry, I see the fashion and all that, but then when you talk about the marketing part, they be like, oh, that's a lie. You be like, what you got?
Like, what you expect?
It's like a couple $1,000. So yeah, it feels good to hear that mindset because that's true. I do think that people need to come together. You don't get successful using your own money. That is not how it works.
Yeah, team work. Team gonna work.
Exactly.
We don't have that in Chicago. I feel like we have it in other cities. But in Chicago, we don't have people that's trying to help each other.
Yeah, we gotta get better at that, man. They gotta start somewhere.
But guess what? Guess where it's starting, y'all? 67 Social.
Social, for sure that.
Because we gonna help. And I sat down for like 2 years after COVID. If you were in the entertainment, I know you got hit real bad. Because I was like, I had money on the table with venues. You're like, dang, am I gonna get my money back? And it was just like a big reality check. And I feel like during COVID, a lot of people start coming together. Like, it was a big wake-up call. But you do got a lot of old heads who they don't like to see new people coming in. I think that is the problem a lot of times is they like, no, we established, we got a name, who are you? Or when you trying to do certain things, again, me as a manager and a coordinator, you got to have your own establishments. You got to have your own place. Like you got to have a building. You can't, because people, Chicago do be a cold shoulder. And I'm not gonna lie, but that's what they call it. The what is it? We the bullies, Chicago bullies.
Are we?
We got a lot of names.
We got so many names.
Chirac.
Yeah.
What is it?
I wouldn't be surprised if Bully was one of them.
Chirac.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was
Vulture
Windy
City.
City,
Whoa.
Chi-Town, you know, a whole list, man.
Dang.
I love Chi-Town.
We gonna change that narrative though,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
I started throwing my parties during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I first started throwing parties, was during COVID.
How did that go?
Very interesting, because there was no swinger parties going on, which made a void because everybody was bored. So I just rented out some land and I put some tents out, and then we just had a party outside with the tents.
Yeah.
She did very well. She did very well. I missed those parties. Those was fun.
And let me tell y'all, because I had to see, listen, when you start throwing parties, you're automatically a promoter. So from promoter to promoter, one of my methods is I like to go see other people's parties and what they're doing and learn from them. So no matter what you're doing, I may not even agree, I may not have heard of it, but I want to see what you're doing so I could take it and learn and just kind of whatever. But I will say a lot of people show up to your event. Like I think that would shock a lot of people.
I had 183 people at the last one.
It was
it went good.
It was so many people that I was like, I gotta go. I'm getting claustrophobic.
There are 3 sex clubs in Chicago, but they're all white owned. None of them's black owned. So if you go to
that says a lot.
Yes, and if you went to a club on a regular day, you're gonna see about 70% white with a sprinkle of us, and we always in the smoke section. That's always where you can find us.
What that's supposed to mean?
That's just where we are. That's just where we are. Like, it doesn't matter. Any party, if you just be like, where everybody's smoking at, or they smoking in that room. You open it, that's where all the black people at.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and so I got tired of that. And so I rented their spaces on the days that they're empty, and then I just bring in our people. So that way they can have a little
so
more.
you bringing it in. You doing it. That's good. You still making.
It's hard for us to get comfortable around naked white people. Because, like, you know, and I don't know about y'all, but I ain't grow up in a house with naked white women or white people walking around the house, right? So if you go to a party and just see naked white people, you will be like, all right, okay, yeah, no, I ain't taking off shit, but okay. But if you start seeing your people, you might be more inspired to be like, oh, this looks good.
Well, I hope you
really
inspire
good.
a lot of people to start being honest in their relationships.
That's what we're working on. That's what we provide coaching. We provide coaching under insurance, so people can use the insurance to get coaching so that they can find their healthy relationships. Because about 80% of the people who come to me and be like, I'm ready for a relationship, after a 15-minute conversation, I'm like, so what did you learn today? I'm not ready for a relationship. Good job. That's great.
Hey, what was the percent?
Yeah, about 80%. It's 80 to 85. It's a very high number of people who finally realize after we talk, especially if you can't answer the 30-year question. Because if you can't answer the 30-year question, it's like trying to get someone in the car with you just so you could drive and don't know where the hell you're going. Because a lot of us be like, oh, I'll just wait to find a partner and then we can create our life plan. Yeah, but what if that partner don't have the personality trait for the life plan that you want to create?
You have to have intentional value.
Just like stability. It's the number one thing you look for, right? When you date, you want a man that's stable. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, the problem with finding someone that's stable is that you don't know how he got stable.
Mentally stable first.
Mentally stable, yes, right? But what happens when a person
stable.
loses their stability? Yeah. Do they have the personality trait that's necessary for them to get back where they're at? Because if I meet you when you're stable, it could be like, yay, this is happy. But then you lose that job.
And they leave.
Because they can't handle it. And you don't know what that version of that person is. And so that's why I tell people that you must have nonverbal questions before getting into a relationship. And so nonverbal questions are the things that you need answered, but you're not gonna ask. So for example, for me, what's important is that my partner has a millionaire mindset because I will be a millionaire. Not that I'm trying to be, not that I wish to be, I will be a millionaire,
That's
right?
Yeah,
And so if I'm already speaking that into existence, I need a partner who can do the same thing,
Right.
right? Now, that doesn't mean I'm gonna look for a partner who's already rich. Instead, I'm gonna have a nonverbal question that tells me, do you have the possibilities to be rich, right? And so one of the nonverbal questions is, how do you deal with failure? And so instead of actually asking you about a time that you failed, I need to watch you fail at something. Because how you react to that failure will tell me if you're capable of keeping your stability. It will tell me if you're capable of being a future millionaire, because people who don't like to fail and know how to fail well become very successful in the future.
That's right.
But the ones who fail and then complain and have to blame the whole world and
them the ones that
you're
they
not
put
getting
a hold,
nowhere.
They ain't getting nowhere.
not
You
getting nowhere.
just steady blaming. How you gonna be able to give yourself room to grow? You know,
Exactly.
you ain't even in the right mindset to even elevate. You know, I don't know. A lot of people do be stuck sometimes. You know, and that mindset is it's something else.
Yes.
I ain't gonna
Learning
lie.
to accept.
Yes.
When you
That's
learn
why
to accept everything about yourself and others and no judgment, that's when true unity can come in.
Oh,
That's what I
absolutely.
see.
because you have to have a very successful relationship with
Absolutely.
yourself. One thing I tell people is technically, because you asked the question, is everyone in a poly relationship? And I technically say yes, because even if you're in a monogamous relationship with another person, you should still be in a relationship with yourself. And that relationship with yourself is like being with another person. I take myself out on dates every week. I take myself out on vacations every year by myself. I pamper self, because if you don't give to yourself what you request out of another person, then the other person could treat you like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just hit one on the head, though. So, cause that's important now.
I love myself.
You gotta love yourself before you love somebody else.
I love
man.
myself. So when I met my wife, I was like, yeah, so let's talk about open relationships, because I'm not good at monogamy. And we had a conversation about it, because she was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, I'm just telling you. If you want a monogamous relationship, your sex life will be limited. And I don't know if that's fair to you. And we had a serious conversation about it. And eventually she was like, all right, we can try it out. Let's see how it works. She only gave it 6 months, though. That's what she said. She was like, I only gave it 6 months. I didn't think it was going to go that far. And now we 5 years in, happy as hell.
6 months is fair. 6 months is a long time.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
That's
To
it.
just figure it out.
Well, in her mind, she felt like, because most of the men who brought this relationship concept to her would tell her that they're not okay with her being with other men.
Right.
And so when I told her that, she didn't believe me. She was like, that's cute. You just saying that. Right? And she was like, I don't know about that. Until we actually went to a party. And when she was having her fun, I'm sitting in the chair with some snacks. And I'm like, you go, baby. Hey, hit that. Yes. And she just looked up like, oh, you watching? Absolutely.
I am glad.
Hey, he built so different. Cause I couldn't. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's you got it ain't.
I think it just shows the growth in you.
Yes, that's all.
The major.
Not only as a person, but as a man in the total.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
Mentally
there's not too many men
beyond.
that and allow that. Like,
Yeah.
well, just to even be comfortable with sitting there and watching something like that. So
Watching your woman just, you feel me, get handled.
Listen, when I tell you my woman fucks me so hard after moments like that, it is hard to explain. Her very first dick appointment, she came back home and gave me some of the best head I ever had in our relationship. It was amazing. Fucking amazing.
Hey, hold
Dick appointment.
I'm just saying. It's her very first dick appointment. She went out. She had a great time. She came back the next day. I had cooked breakfast for her. She got out the shower and she gave me the best head. And I'm not even a head person, but that was some amazing head I had that day. I was like, I remember this day.
Yeah.
Again, Tori, I'm a honey.
No,
yeah, I know
wow.
you're strong.
It's not about. It's not about.
It's a mindset.
It's not about
It's
strength.
definitely a
My
mindset.
partner is not my property.
Yeah.
Why can't you live your life and be free? Why do you?
So why is she with you?
If
If you don't want to, you should let her go. Then.
Oh no! I'm glad you asked this question. 'Cause
I
get
definitely
asked
want to
this
know.
question.
I gotta know
So you
on
funny
this
as
this
hell.
one.
Because for one, sex ain't the reason why I'm with her.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
And if sex is the
Compatible.
biggest benefit of the relationship gonna die no matter
Regardless.
what we do.
Facts.
Right? And so she is her own individual person. And I want you to think of it in the aspect of your daughter, not your woman. Because you would want your daughter to have a life that's free where nobody could tell her shit, right? So then why we can't allow that for our own partner? I can't be a hypocrite and say I want life for my daughter to be one way that I'm not willing to give to my own partner. And her life is still her life. She woke up different than I did. And we both had different plans in this world, and we still gonna live them differently. Just because you with me shouldn't mean that there's limitations on your life just because you have a partner now.
Better aspect. Because I have to understand that a little bit better. I like to ask questions. I'm not
No,
gonna lie.
absolutely. Please do.
That's me.
Please do.
But, yeah.
But and I get that a lot because especially when people like, if she can have sex with other people, then why are y'all together? But here's the thing: just because we together don't mean I owe you sex.
I don't gotta do
Just
nothing with
because
you.
we're in a relationship
Yeah.
don't mean I have to fuck you.
Yeah.
If I want to say no, I can say no. Just because you're married to someone don't mean that that person owns your body, right? Now, my perspective of marriage in the early days is slavery towards women because we created a world where women couldn't do shit without a man, and then you have paperwork to say now you belong to someone, right? So in that aspect of marriage, sure, I get that perspective, but this ain't the world we live in no more.
Yeah.
Women wants to be just as free as we do.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to allow that, and that means sexually.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That's something else. Hey, I got my answer right.
I feel like the men have really like stole the show. Like, how do you feel as a woman to hear all of this?
That's fine. That's what he accepts.
No, I mean, no, not him, but like just you personally. How do you feel just about a lot of what he said?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wants. That's what he accepts.
No, and I get that, but I'm more so asking you as a woman from your perspective, like how would the transparency look to you? Well, what does it look like for you in your relationship? Like I'm gonna go first, right? So just kick it off.
Okay.
I feel like right now I've been single. Well, I've been single for some time now, y'all, for some years. And I feel like the biggest reason I'm single is not really for sexual reasons. It's more so because I feel like I'm a social butterfly. And I could make a friend anywhere I go. And sometimes, like, I feel like if I was to be in a relationship, your average guy would be like, oh no, y'all fucking around. Or it gotta be something going on. And I'm like, no, I have relationships with people that don't go sexual. We just have genuine relationships. But because a lot of men are insecure, they're like, nah, hell no. That ain't happening. You out at 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, yeah, we're talking. Y'all doing more than just talking. It's like, So for me, the thought of a poly relationship is like, people do that. People are comfortable with that. Because from my experience, the average man is like, hell no. Like, you can't even have male friends. So that's why I'm like, how are you feeling? Because I'm like, honestly, I'm taking back to her. You really... you have taken me back, but you gave me a lot to think about, and it's like I still want the transparency in my relationship. I'm not sure if I'm like comfortable with the whole poly lifestyle, but I do want the transparency because I have been in relationships where I'm with a guy, I was married, and he had a very strong emotional relationship with another woman. And it was like, how do I deal with that? So it may not have been sexual, but I feel like it hurt all the same. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I think it has to be more than the sex. I really don't know, y'all, when it comes to relationships. So I'm like, I'm for real. I'll be like, I don't know at this point.
What's the question you asking?
I'm asking, just what's your take on everything that we've been talking about?
Like I said in the beginning, it's what you agree to.
Yeah.
See, what I can understand what he's saying because he knows what he wants. I know what I want. Being single for an amount of time really showed and pushed me to say what I want. Because being in the relationship that I was in, it was always, it's my choice, and my choice was taken. So now I know exactly what I want. So that's why it's easy to accept what he says. Am I gonna do that? No. But I'm understanding like, wow, that is great. Like you said, he's emotionally mature in a lot of ways, and that's what he wants. What I want is something totally different, and I get what I want.
Yeah.
In any situation, I get what I want.
I love that.
I don't gotta ask you what you think, what you feel. You made it very clear.
I
made it. That's clear. Whatever they want, they can do it.
Yeah.
I just won't be there. Like, that's it. That's how I take it. Do what you want to do. If I don't agree to it, I'm gone. And I hope the best, and I want you to have the best in life, because I want to have the best.
I don't want to feel like I'm trying to control you or nothing.
No, but it does become a controlling thing. Depends on the person.
Yeah, depending on the person.
See, he's speaking from non-control.
Yeah.
You got some people so over-controlling. It's just, don't tuck your shirt in.
I
Don't
feel like
take
I'm
vitamins.
right.
Don't
I'm probably
go
right in
here.
the
Don't
middle.
wear
Like,
pink
you
lipstick.
know what to do and what not to. I feel like I shouldn't have to
But how do you know
correct
women know what to do and what not to do when it comes to you?
You ask a
Especially,
question.
especially if y'all just met.
I mean, I don't.
You explore it.
I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
I gotta let it happen.
You know you're supposed to tell her. I feel like the communication has to be there.
Key.
I mean,
Every relationship different. You don't want
Yeah,
to
it's
plan the same
different.
rules from the last guy to you.
cause I'm not him.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't have to be him. You can be what you want and have what you want. You just gotta say it.
Yeah.
That's why you have to use your words in relationships and anything. Say what you want, and
Say
if the
what
person
it
don't
is.
want it, they don't want it. Then that's not your person.
Also holding them accountable to what you say
Absolutely.
is very important.
Stand on business.
Because like when I date outside my relationship, I'll tell people I need you to date other people. That is my number one rule. When I talk to people outside my relationship, I cannot be the only
Look at her face. She like,
Yeah, cause I'm hearing you. Like,
I cannot be I say that at the very beginning. I cannot be the only person that you're talking to. And so the one thing that you should institute when you're talking to people is you should do 3-week check-ins when you first starting to talk. Every 3 weeks or every 3 months, and then eventually to every 6 months. And so your check-ins is, how are you? How is your happiness? Am I impeding upon your happiness?
that should be every day.
Well, not every day, because you still have to go through life exercises to learn each other through experiences. But you still want to check in because you had to hold each other accountable. And so like I checked in with one person, was like, so how was your dating life going outside of me? I'm not talking to anyone else. Girl, it's been 3 months. Why are you not talking to anyone else? I don't want to talk to anyone else. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to walk away from this conversation, this whole relationship. We can be friends, but I can't continue to have sex with you. Because I'm toxic. I can't have you.
Wait, hon, you said you're what?
I'm toxic.
Oh my gosh.
I'm toxic.
What does that look like?
I like
what
to
does your toxic look like?
I like to make love to you without really being in love with you. But I like to guide you through that process. Like I'll whisper in your ear and be like, my God, I want you every fucking day. Like I will go through the whole process, but afterwards we'll be like, so you want something to eat? And then you have a great day. Okay, good, cool, thanks. But you do that so much with someone, they'll actually get involved into those feelings. And if they're not with someone else, my toxicity can be a lot.
But are you like a transparent?
Yes, he's
toxic?
saying.
So
Yes.
are you know what I'm saying is so you tell them we're gonna go through these exercises?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for sex, I like to have a conversation about sex before sex anyway. And once I ask you about your safety word, I like to explain what experience I like to provide, and then find out if that's the same experience you want. And so through most of those conversations, through those experiences, I'll be like, yeah, you need to fuck someone else then, because That can't just be me. This is gonna be
And I love and respect the transparency.
Yeah, that's great.
Man, y'all, 67 Social, y'all.
Yeah.
We gonna take a 5-minute break because Mama needs some air and some grub too.
Ooh, I like that. I got an edible on me.
I
You gonna pull it out on the camera?